Okay, now that we learn all the basic tool, we are going to model a very basic aeroplane just using these three major modeling tool. Okay, so I'm gonna start with the cylinder, right? Because the shape of the aeroplane is looking something like this. And again, I'm gonna open up channel box, and if you don't have, you can press Control A. Okay, now I'm going to rotate this right slightly toward the x-axis, and I want to press or type 90. Okay, now I'm gonna go a little bit faster because by now you should learn all the shortcut or memorize the shortcut, so it will comes handy when it comes to assignment or modelings like complex shape, because it will reduce the time of button that you have to click. Okay, now I'm gonna select all this face right in the front. Okay, so this is a very manual way to do. Now, a better way to do this, right, is that I'm going to select anyhow, right, and I'm going to press Control and drag. Okay, so what it does is it will deselect whatever faces right inside this box. Okay, so if I let go, it will left me with the front portion of the selection. So that way, like, I don't have to click this manually, which is time consuming, right? So I can just like anyhow select, and I can deselect that selection. Okay, and I'm left with only the front portion of the aeroplane. And again, I'm going to use Extrude, right? I want to pull forward, and again, I'm going to use G to kind of repeat extrusion. So while it's being selected, I'm going to scale it, and I'm going to use Extrude again. I pull forward, I scale it, and I repeat, and I pull forward, and I repeat, and one more time maybe, and I get something like that. Okay, so at least I get like the front shape of the aeroplane. Okay, now for the body, I can go to my vertex or maybe faces. Okay, so if you do faces, I'm only need the back side of it. So I'm going to deselect and maybe like shrink a little bit. Now, when it comes to modeling, right, there are different methods of doing things. Okay, so you don't have to stuck with one technique or one method. Okay, so whatever works for you, and it will give you a good topology without having an end gun. Yeah, you can also like apply it to your exercise or assignment. Okay, so maybe I'm going to like duplicate. So I'll show you two different methods of doing things. Okay, so the first method is that I'm going to extrude, right? So I'm going to extrude this like a few times. So I'm gonna extrude one time, right? One more time, right? One more time, okay? One more time until like the end. So this is the place where I'm going to place the tail. Now, again, as I mentioned, there are different ways to do things. So in this case, as compared to do extrusion, I'm just going to select all the faces, right? Again, use this trick, select everything anyhow, and deselect. And I'm just gonna pull, right? Just pull all the way to the back, okay, and we shrink it. Okay, now if you compare this and this, like is slightly different because the bottom one has more line or more division. So how do we fix this object? Well, we can use this tool, right? Click and drag, click and drag, click and drag, click and drag. Okay, um, okay, and I can adjust it maybe like this. I'm gonna right click, vertex, and make it bigger. Okay, according to your liking, and the result is kind of roughly the same. Okay, so that's how I mention when it comes to like a different technique of modeling. Okay, so whatever works for you, like yeah, better. Now I want to delete this one and go back to this. Now I'm going to create the wings, right? So I'm going to select maybe this, right? 4 faces, and I'm going to use Extrude. In Maya, right? Yes, you can like model symmetrically, but at this stage, I'm just gonna do everything manual. So you have like practice with your basic modeling tool. Okay, so I'm gonna just drag all the way here. Now, as you can see, right, these faces is not really straight. Okay, so very simple trick that I actually do to make things straight is that I'm going to use a scale. Okay, so I'm going to use this scale. Okay, if I choose a wrong axis, right? So if I choose this one, it'll give me like yeah, result that I don't want. And if you look at this, right, it's still not straight, these edges. Okay, if I choose the blue one, it will actually make things like smaller. Okay, but if I choose the red one, right, they'll give me like yeah, so as you can see, the edge is slowly getting like yeah, 90 degrees and straight. Okay, so I usually use this scale tool to kind of fix stuff or to make like edges straight. Okay, a better representation is probably if I have a ground like this and I have like stuff that is not even, right? For example, like that, I can easily select all this, right? Okay, let's maybe like this. And select easily all the bad vertex, right? And I can use scale tool, right? Make sure you choose the correct axis. And in this case, it's obviously the green one. So if I click and drag right all the way to the bottom, okay, it'll make all these vertex like yeah, perfectly straight. Okay, so this is a very handy trick that I use a lot. Okay, so let's go back to my airplane, right? And maybe the wing is like too wide. I'm gonna make this like a little bit smaller, right? And I'm gonna make like one more cut like that. Okay, so let's do the same thing with this other side. So it's like I think it's this one. No, this and that. Yeah, it seems in the same line of division. Okay, again, I'm just gonna make this wing, right? Make it straight all the way there. So at this stage, I'm not worried about like how symmetrical is the wing. So this is just for practices. Okay. And again, I want to select all these vertex, and I'm going to make it like a little bit smaller. I'm going to add some edges. Now, for the tail, I'm going to add one more. Oops, I'm going to add one more, and I'm going to create like sort of the back engine maybe. So again, I'm gonna select all these and deselect. Okay, and press 4 just to see like everything is okay. Okay, again, I'm gonna use Extrude, right? And I'm gonna create this like variation. Okay, I scale it, Extrude again, and I push inside. And now I can create like this very cool like yeah, engine or whatever, like the back side of the aeroplane. Okay, and once I finish with that, I'm gonna like select all these. Okay, and I'm going to create tail using Extrude. Right, I can press G because that is the last command that I did. Okay, push upward, and I get a shape like that. Okay, again, I'm gonna like make it straight, right? Pull it like that. Select all these vertex, right? Just checking. Press 4. Pull downward, and I get this kind of shape. Okay, I want to create a line like that. Okay, everything seems okay. Okay, again, I'm going to select these faces to create like the side tail. Extrude. So right now, this is another shortcut. So I'm pressing Shift and right click. Okay, so whatever you see here, menu inside Maya, you can actually like access from pressing Shift right click, right, or maybe like hold your spacebar. Okay, so if you want to access, let's say like mesh, you can hold your spacebar and you can go to your mesh right here. So this is the same thing as you click right there. So this is just one way of doing things, or hotkeys your menu. Okay, so you can also click this or shift right click. Okay, extrude face, it's the same thing. Okay, so press W, right, and then like make it straight, maybe like shrink it down to create that kind of shape. Maybe it's a little bit too thick, so you can taper like that. Okay, and add some division there. Okay, so let's do the same thing with this side. Maybe it's this guy. Yep. Extrude. Or maybe this time I'm going to shift right click, extrude, right, press W, so it's the same thing. Make it straight. Okay, then like make it not that wide and taper it. Okay, and I'm going to add division. Okay, so be creative, right? So maybe in this section I'm gonna add one more line, right? And I'm gonna select like all these faces, and maybe this is the place where the pilot going to sit. So I want to extrude, right? And this time I'm just gonna use my blue color and just push it down like that. Okay, and it will give me like space for someone to sit in. And again, like you can play around with this model. So maybe I'm gonna create like line here, and I'm going to select all this ring, right, and extrude, and I'm going to use this blue color, and it will give me a nice like a rim around it. Okay, and again I'm gonna add line like all these. So this is just another variation on how you can create like stuff really quickly inside Maya. Okay, so yeah, this is what your aeroplane like should look like. Okay, now when you finish your model, right, you should always clean all these junk. So this is the kind of history, right, of command that you apply to this object. Okay, once you finish with your modeling, you don't need this anymore, so you can delete this stuff. Okay, because if you don't delete, this will get built up into your memory, and Maya will crash a lot. Okay, so to clean this up, you can go back here, right? So there is this button called delete by type. Okay, so once you click that, all this will disappear. Okay, and one more thing that I like to do is that I like to clear all this, so this will become 0, 0, 0, and 0 except the scale. So the scale will stay in 1. So I'm gonna click this button. Okay, and everything is nice and clean now. Now, this object is considered as a clean object because it has no history, and all these transformation 0 and the scale is 1. And then if this is your character, then you can pass this finished model to someone to put the bone or rig, or you can even move to the texturing stage. Okay, now this thing is considered as a complete or finished aeroplane.